friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name's Julie and I'm the knitwear designer behind Twin Stitches Designs. Today we are going to be going over yarn. It is time I go through my yarn stash to decide what I'm keeping, what I'm destashing. This is something I've been wanting to do, and slowly throughout the last year I have significantly reduced my stash already. So I've probably reduced it by at least a third, but it's still too much. Realistically, I know I'm not going to be able to knit through all of this, and I have been wanting a more refresh, going over all of the yarn and really deciding, am I going to keep this, am I not? I'm going to have some for giveaways, I'm going to put some away for a destash, and yeah, make sure you listen to the end of this fun episode because I'm also going to be doing another giveaway and announcing the giveaway for the last fun organizing my office video. So let's dive right in. I've already started organizing some and putting some on the side for the giveaways and bundle those up. Those are always some fun mystery bundles that I put for Patreon, for YouTube, all of those. And I just kind of pull them out and ship them off when I pull those prizes. So today I'm going to be going over all of this, and as well I do have another section of yarn in my house that I do need to bring up. I want to be able to have my yarn stash only in these two beautiful shelving units, and that's going to be the ultimate goal. Now, if you haven't already, my friend Natalie of Knitty Natty last year was so amazing, and she actually stashed down to the point where she had no stash anymore. I applaud her for doing that. I think it's amazing the way that she did that, and she completely inspired me to do something like that this year. Now, I'm not saying that I want to get rid of all of it, because that's not the case for me, because I do design yarn, I do design patterns and need those yarns and inspiration. So I just really want to go through and deciding, is this something I want to keep? Is this something, that would go off to a better home, and go through that. So if you haven't checked out Natalie's YouTube channel, I would highly recommend it. I will link her podcast and episodes and everything down below, and watch her journey as she destashed and worked her way through her stash in 2022. All right, let's get organizing. Okay, so I feel like I've done a good job up to now. I've reduced it quite significantly. Here is yarn that I've put aside. So I'm going to be going through this and then figuring out what I'm going to be putting aside for giveaways, destash, all of those details. I will be doing the destash on my Shopify website. All skeins are going to be 25 Canadian each, and sock sets will be 32 Canadian. So I'm pricing these for these to go. So this is up to now. Also there I've put all of those for giveaways. I've decided to keep all of my books. Here are my project bags. Now, going through these yarns, there was some that I knew I wanted to keep. So this is Knit Picks Wool of the Andes, and this I do want to make next year some stockings for the whole family. So that's why those have stayed. This is for a new design, and a lot of these yarns were provided from the dyers or yarn companies for some design. So this will definitely be a sweater design cast on very soon. We have the items from We Are Knitters that was also provided for some designs. I have these fun sock yarns from Hobie that I do want to go through because some of these I know I'm not going to knit through all of those. These are all my Moon Glow. And then down here is what I have to go through again, just to make sure that these are the yarns that I really do want. I have gone through and I'm trying to also keep in mind, I don't have specific projects for these, but I wanted to keep some skeins that I knew were these one of a kind that I really loved and I fell in love with. So I really wanted to make sure that that's what I kept. So this is Hobie Fingering and Knit Pick Stroll. I like having these in stock just because of some fun colorwork socks and things, so that's why those have stayed. And then I have a little bit of the Knit Picks Wool of the Andes Bulky as well as the Big O. And I have more of those bulkier weights downstairs that I will be bringing up. So for now, let's go see. I want to show you downstairs and kind of the things that I'm going to be putting away. Okay, so here is the yarn that I have in the basement on top of what I have upstairs. So this is mostly a lot of Knit Picks, and there's some things in here that I will be keeping and some that will be going into some giveaways and destashing as well. So this is a lot of Knit Picks Swish Worsted, which is one of my favorite yarns from Knit Picks, and I love using it. We have some Knit Picks Palette, some Wool of the Andes Tweed, some Dishy, Wonder Fluff, the more Capra. We have a little bit of Stroll, some Twill, some High Desert. So we do have a fun mix in here that I do need to go through. So I brought myself a big basket, laundry basket, so I'm gonna just put everything in here, bring it upstairs, and figure out from there what I'm actually gonna keep and what is going to be going into our giveaway piles and destashing. First bucket of yarn is here, and this was only one shelf. Holy guacamole, I think this is going to be a lot more yarn than I thought. Okay, so I already took down a bunch. I do need to get a big chair to go get some of the sweater quantities, and so here's what I have left. Like I said, love Swish Worsted, love keeping those because they are amazing for the girls' sweaters. Not sure what I want to do about the Wool of the Andes Tweed. I have 2 sweater quantities of Wonder Fluff, 2 sweater quantities of Palette. Absolutely love those. Up there we have Daydream in 2 sweater quantities for Knit Picks. That is actually a discontinued yarn that I will be keeping because I want to make a sweater out of it. And then for the Stroll Tweed, I do need to figure out what I'm doing with that. I'm not sure. So, oh, stuff on the ground. But yeah, so here is where I'm at. Now let's go see how bad of a mess the upstairs is. I think I underestimated, oh, you're sideways. I think I underestimated how much yarn I have. I can't even count the skeins. Like, this is ridiculous. So I still have everything I showed you downstairs, and then I have all of this behind me. Plus that bag is also full. Send help. We need some help. It's gonna be a good giveaway on this episode. All right, now let's sort through and figure out what is going de-stash, what am I donating, and what is going away for giveaways. Twill, in the Sea Salt Heather is one of my favorite yarns from Knit Picks, so this is definitely staying in my stash. I actually already completed a sweater out of this that I will show. One of my favorite yarns to knit with. It's just so beautiful, so I'm definitely keeping this color. But I also have this type of yellow, which I don't really know if I'm actually going to knit with it. So I may put this in a de-stash, so a full sweater quantity of it, because I don't necessarily know if I am going to knit with it. As well as this color, this is Twister. I do have another sweater quantity, I think, of that one as well. So both of these sweater quantities will be going in the de-stash. So let's keep going through. So the other yarn that I noticed I have a lot of in my stash is actually Knit Picks Dishy. Now this is my favorite dishcloth, but I also know that I don't need 100 skeins of dishcloth, especially when I haven't knit a dishcloth in about, I don't know, over a year and a few months. So I'm definitely just going to keep a very small collection of my favorite colors, maybe even a fun palette that goes together, and all the other ones are going to go up in the de-stash because I am not going to knit up that much Dishy. So yeah, so when I'm looking at the different color palettes, I'm trying to go with more what I like, what I would like to knit. So I'm going to be putting up all the Dishy together, going through the colors, and maybe deciding on 10 to 12. I think that's a reasonable amount to keep. And all of the other ones I'm just going to be okay with de-stashing. I also even have brand new full Dishy cones. So these cones are actually 4 skeins of Dishy, so it's 400 grams instead of the little 100 grams. And I have 4 of these cones, brand new. Again, these are going to be going up in the de-stash. I've had them for about 3 years and I haven't used them. So I know if I haven't used them in 3 years, odds are I'm not going to be using them in the next 3 years. So I'm just going to keep a few of my favorite colors, and yeah, the rest is going to go to new homes. I just went through the Dishy and I have 36 full brand new things of Dishy. So I'm going to probably sell like all of this as a bundle. And I just kept these 9. That's all I am keeping are these 9 little balls of Dishy. And I'm going to remove 36 Dishys, 4 full cones out of my stash. And I think that is going to feel absolutely wonderful. Now, the other thing that I was looking at is Palette. So Palette is a fingering weight yarn from Knit Picks, and I have a few sweater quantities of this one. I decided to keep the Finley Heather, which is 100% my color palette into the grays, because I do have an idea of using the palette minis and making a fun, like, scrappy colorwork sweater. I did have this super, super bright palette in Fairy Tale, but if I'm very honest with myself, I don't feel inspired by this yarn. Even though it's completely gorgeous, I just don't feel inspired by it or to knit with it, so that is definitely going to be going up in the D stash, as well as some of the High Desert yarns. It's just not something that I'm working on, but something that is staying is the mohair. Well, let's get this out of the way. The Knit Picks Aloft is one of my favorite. I love pairing it with different things, so this is definitely a yarn that is going to be staying. And then something that's also going to be going, I had ordered this kit of Host Garn from Stephen and Penelope for the, was it the Slip Stravaganza? I can't remember. I think it was the 2021 it wasn't Shawlography, but anyways, his Mystery Knit Along. Again, if I'm honest with myself, it's just not as soft as I was hoping it would be. It's not something I'm going to knit with, and I would just rather go to a better home, so that is definitely going to be going up on the D stash as well. So now is the time to start putting some of these away into the shelving and seeing how much room we have left. After putting away, I'm so obsessed with this little section. I'm so proud of it. Okay, this is the Aloft and the Capra and palette that I showed off earlier. So what I decided is there was a few extra skeins of mohair that I decided, you know what, doesn't really fit in there, so I'm just gonna leave those out. Yeah, like this one, I find it's really pretty. I do have a sweater quantity of it, but I also have the silver, like, this is, I find, like a blended version of these. So why am I keeping something that is feeling extra to those already? And this is more my jam. So yeah, so right now I've added the twill. That I even have a fun little space right up here for the Dishy. That's all We Are Knitters. And right now I'm just kind of still going through, but I'm loving how it's turning out, that it's more thought out, that it's not just throwing yarn, whatever it is, that it actually serves a purpose in here. So this, I know I want it eventually to be a sweater. That Camp Fiber Yarns, I know that it's a sweater right now that I'm working on, I'm designing. So I'm really happy with it so far, and we're just gonna keep going. I think all of you find this very interesting. So yeah, I'm really having fun with it. If you have any questions based on the things that I'm keeping, and I mean, there's just too much yarn for me to go one by one. No, I will not be counting each skein of yarn because I think I will be here for days. I just have too many. And this isn't even all of it because I still have a ton downstairs. But yeah, get ready for a massive destash. Like, this is going to be epic.